Hello anybody and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Bros. 2 on the All-Star Pack. I'm Mr. Devious or just Deeb, and in the last episode we cleared all of World 4 and in this episode we are moving on to World 5. Before I start the level, I just wanted to point out, even look at these little touches here, how Mario keeps his hands at his sides ready to go. Luigi keeps his hands modestly behind his back. That's a cool little detail, but enough wasting time. I'm gonna pick Mario and get right back to World 5, which is the grassy plains again. So they do kind of use this trope quite a bit, where 3 worlds, you come back to the grassy plains, but, oh. But in a way, I guess it kind of works if you're crossing, like, different ecozones, biomes, I think they're called, because you start in the plains, you move into drier desert area. That Panzer is dangerous. And then you move back to the plains, and then you go to the tundra, so it's not bomb. So it's not a sharp transition as it could be. I could get those coins, but I'm not going to because I have different purposes for this. And then after you go to the tundra, wouldn't have made that jump. You go back to the plains instead of, I'm gonna throw this down here, instead of like, well, nothing in there. I wasted that potion. I know there's a mushroom around here somewhere, but they're hard to find in this level. And I almost went on to what the next world is, but oh god. So it's time to switch over to Luigi. World 5, I am the least experienced with. I've beaten it several times, but I'm still, I still have my problems with it. And let's be honest, if I were to pick a hardest world in the game, World 5 is actually a decent contender, especially just for this first level, where you go through this cave hopping from fish to logs to still no mushroom. Over these precarious giant pits. This level is extremely hard with Mario or Toad. Very easy with Peach though. This is like one of her best levels to have in. Is there a mushroom around here? No. Actually, I know where the mushroom is now, and I'm gonna miss it, and that sucks. But that's okay because this is one of those short levels. If you want to know where the mushroom is, it's actually on top of one of those mushroom blocks up there. You have to carry the potion up to there, drop it down on top of one of the mushroom blocks, or, because you have to carry it all the way up there. And actually, I wonder if I can get back up there. That'll be interesting. So even playing as Luigi, I always had a lot of trouble with this level, because it is a genuinely challenging level. Toad don't even care. He just goes on hopping as quickly as he can. He doesn't care about death traps and fish and dying, and he's not afraid. He's Toad. Toad is courageous and brave, and I'm probably gonna die, but I haven't yet, strangely enough, and this is the potion that you need if you want to get the mushroom up ahead. Am I gonna do this level with Toad? That would be so kind of killer. However, oh boy. Okay, so you want to place yourself around here. Get the door there. And that puts the mushroom on your head, but you need to get... No! That was stupid. But it's okay. Because if we just go through this door now, the mushroom will spawn again, but without the block in the way. Because the mushroom statues retain their position after you move them when you go to Subspace. The name of the dark world is called Subspace, which I forgot in all my other episodes. And we get to Birdo with Toad through this level. I'm so proud of myself right now. This is a green Birdo. This gimmick with green Birdos, they shoot fireballs. Nothing but fireballs. So you want to keep your distance from them and jump between their flames, but they're not too hard because because you have mushroom blocks, you'll always have a weapon. The thing about pink and red Birdos is, since they do shoot eggs, the game is not obligated to give you mushroom blocks. So it doesn't always give you mushroom blocks. So I would actually say that the red Birdos are harder than the green Birdos, so long as you throw the block through the green Birdo in such a way that you give yourself enough distance from it to go pick it up again. Because if you drop your mushroom statue like right next to the Birdo, the green Birdo, then it can get pretty hard to get again. But that is all she wrote on Birdos. Ah! Whoa! 3 stars. Oh, 2 sevens. So Toad had a pretty glorious moment right there, and we're going to cycle over to Peach for World 5-2, which I think might actually be a really good level for her, if it's the level I remember. And I think if it's the nighttime level, yep, this is the level. There are quite a few gaps and spaces in this level. Oh, bomb! Actually, this isn't the level I was thinking of, never mind. There are a lot of bob-bombs in this world, by the way. It's just, there are so many. I also like to point out that even though this is also the grassy plains again, just in the general design and layout, the terrain of the level is different than what we're used to. I mean, there aren't as many hills here, but there are a lot of trees! Bombs don't kill... Oh, it did kill it. Look at that smiling face down here in the vase. Anyway, as I was saying, even though the terrain is... Even though it's the same biome, like the plains, the terrain is different. Okay, we gotta avoid Sonic. Get a potion. If you throw a potion down in an urn, it just vanishes into nothing. I mean, that's like the subspace of subspace, and that's kind of stupid. If I do remember correctly, you gotta throw it somewhere around here if it's not up there. Unless it is up there. This is the point in the game where it gets tricky to find where the mushrooms are hidden, and I'm probably not gonna find them. And I'm sorry. But that's just the way it goes. Wow, there's a lot of bombs. Who keeps putting these bombs underground? Sorry, these bombs underground. I had to edit out a noise that I made. So yeah, now this... I don't know how to describe the terrain difference. Like, there's a lot of moving up and down. There's, like, a lot of rougher cliffs. Sharper cliffs instead of these soft hills like this you can move between, and it's harder to navigate. It's a tougher terrain. And I like that whole design. And you could say that Super Mario... Oh. You could say the same thing about Mario 1, how its terrain is always changing, but Mario 1's landscape always seemed kind of random and just kind of did what it wanted, and it mostly looked the same throughout. Now, the funny thing about this game that I've just realized about the design choice that I like, even if it wasn't intentional, is that the horizontal sections, while easier, are also a lot longer. So if you die, you have to do the whole thing, you have to do more of it over again. Whereas vertical sections tend to be shorter, but more difficult to navigate. So if you die in the shorter section, the shorter, harder section, you don't have to go as far to beat it, or get sent back as far if you die. So that's a cool little detail. And here's another section that is exactly that. It's short, but it's dangerous. How dangerous is it? Mario, why do you think this is a good idea? You just pull things up. There are drills along the cliff faces, and they will stab Mario in his butt and kill him. This is a bad day to be Mario, or any of them. It really would have been, it really would have behooved me to have found a mushroom. Unfortunately, I did not, so I have to make do with what health I have. Interestingly enough, in the advanced version of this game, the Game Boy Advance version of the game, you started each level with only 1 heart, or at least you started each life with only 1 heart. If you beat a level with full life, you carried it over to the next level. And you might think that makes it harder, but actually they put hearts all over the place. Hearts are very common in the advanced version of the game. Plus, you can get up to 5, whereas this game has a maximum of 4. But anyway, if you're listening to the music, you can probably hear that we are fighting a Birdo. We're going to take this fish and slap her in the face with it. This is actually probably what I would consider one of the hardest Birdo fights in the game, just based on these very narrow space you have to fight her in. And there's this bridge up here, and that hole in the bridge always used to get me when I was younger. Like, I could never quite navigate. You gotta pick up the egg at the right time so that you aren't hit by a fireball or another egg or fall between the planks of the bridge. What a jerk. What is suspending that bridge anyway? I guess it's a moot point, but actually, I want to try something. This is my fish. And, oh, can't carry anything through. Alright, so that brings us back to Toad again. We've gone through quite a few lives getting through here, but we get our lives back at a pretty steady rate, so I'm never really worried. Lives aren't really an issue in the, at least Not in this version of the game. In the NES version, as I said before, by the way, if you get a potion and go up there, that'll warp you ahead a few levels. In the NES version of the game, as I said, the game only gives you like 3 lives to start with, and that's extremely difficult. Also difficult is it's raining bob-ombs. Help, help, help. This is a... oh. Gentlemen, I give you possibly the most difficult horizontal section in the game. There are bombs that'll just keep raining down on you, and I have to find a potion. Well, I couldn't find a mushroom, so now I have to just do my best to avoid them. However, a nice thing is that they give you some cherries, so with those cherries, you can give yourself a little boost in killing these bob-ombs. Now, of course, since this is level 3 of World 5, this is going to be the fortress/boss level, and it's going to be long, so it's definitely not a bad idea to get some life, get those mushrooms, look around for them if you like. However, I need some bob-ombs. I know there's a mushroom down there, but I need these bob-ombs to explode against this wall. However, it is not working. I will get that open. Wait. Whoa! We can just drop the door right there, just as long as you don't go off screen. The tricky thing is getting them to open this thing up. It will start flashing, and when it starts flashing, then you can throw it, and there we go. That is how you do it. Thankfully, now that we have opened up that door, that'll give us our way to our mushroom. That was a little bit high effort, but it's worth it. We want that extra life for this level. You know, I don't feel too bad about Toad getting murdered early in this level. I mean, for one thing, Toad is kind of a jerk, and for another, that ladder is where we're supposed to go. I'm just checking for secrets. But the camera stops panning there, so you know there's nothing there. I don't feel bad about Toad dying because he did. I had a very successful run with him on the first level of this world, so I feel very happy about that and pleased, and poor Toad. However, there are bombs everywhere, and I don't know if we've seen these pots. We have seen pots like those yet, but they haven't spawned bob-ombs before, which is extremely dangerous. This level is just gratuitous bombs everywhere, which is weird, and we also have a subterranean tree for some reason. Interesting thing about these Koopa shells, by the way, is when they hit a wall, they disappear. Whereas in the advanced version of the game, they are modified to more proper... We go into the underground tree, by the way. This game is just crazy. You want to cover up this pot, or not really. You can sneak through there if you are good at navigating, or small, or whatever, and I'm getting my butt candled, and I can't hold one train of thought all at once, and I forgot where I was going with my original thing of thought. Oh yeah, in the advanced version of the game, if you threw a Koopa shell, it would ricochet off of walls. Edited to act as shells do. Yeah, I wouldn't be dying if I was actually trying. I'm not really trying. I'm just having fun. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But, yeah, the shell would ricochet as shells are supposed to, Koopa shells. What the screw it. I am sneaking through there that way. That is the way that that was as far as I got before, and I'm not gonna die again. I cannot talk about Koopa shells because apparently I can't talk about Koopa shells without getting myself killed. Actually, one of the more strange things about the Koopa shell, the reason it doesn't ricochet in this game is because the Koopa shell is actually a stand-in for a different item. That is probably one of the most dangerous panzers in the game if you don't know what you're doing, but you can manipulate its AI to just walk right off a cliff. The thing about the Koopa shell is that in Doki Doki Panic, it wasn't a Koopa shell. It was, well... Yeah, you can see why they changed it. Anyway, we've reached the top of the tree. Well, not the top of the tree, but high up enough that somebody installed a door here, and we come out onto this cliff with boss music playing, so you know something is going on. Now, we got 4 big vegetables in a row. That means that the next big vegetable that we pull will give us a clock. If it does give us a clock, but we are flying through the sky in this great... And we gotta, I don't know. Successive carpetjacking was never quite my strong suit, but this is this is a terrifying scene, flying from treetop to treetop, trying not to die, and moving, and we got our cloud, so, I mean, we got our clock! So apparently if you get the clock, it freezes the carpet too. Either that or the controls are iffy. Anyway, if you take advantage of that clock, you can get a free hit on Birdo if you're quick enough. So that's pretty cool. Yes, you do have to fight a Birdo. Where's the boss, you might imagine? Well, up until this world, they were just kind of giving you the crystals that would grant you access to the boss's lair. Now it's starting to, you know, make it a little more challenging. Now you have to have successive battles in a row, and that will bring us through this gate. And oh my god, if Peach gets another boss kill, I will just shake my head. And because poor Toad never survives long, and she gets pelted with a rock. This is Clogrip, a gigantic crab who is actually just an enlarged sidestepper if, you know, super... Whoa! Oh. So that won't be a Peach kill, I guess. This is Clogrip, or Cloglip, as, you know, translations might call him. So I didn't know that you could actually ricochet a rock off of him twice, so that's cool. Clogrip is apparently a sidestepper from Mario Brothers, the crab enemies that you would have to hit them twice and they would get angry. And apparently he's just an enlarged version of that, enlarged with magic, and a cutscene from Super Mario Advance, so that's neat. He's also apparently a pirate, if his voice clip is anything to go by. Yeah, the bosses get voice clips too in Super Mario Advance. And Mario also bites it. There's a lot of dying in this episode. I really need to step up my game. Although Clogrip is one of the more difficult bosses to handle. Mouser, his bombs sit flat on the ground, so they're easy to pick up. Tri-Clyde, you know, he just stands there, and again, your weapons are stationary. Fry Guy, weapons are stationary. In this one, you have to, you know, throw his rocks back at him, which means getting on top of his rocks, which don't sit on the ground. You can't steal from his pile, so you have to, you know, get used to their erratic bouncing pattern in order to huck them back at him, like so, and that takes care of Clogrip. For posterity's sake, I will mention that in Doki Doki Panic, Clogrip was added for Super Mario Bros. 2. In Doki Doki Panic, you had to fight an albino Mouser. That's right, a third Mouser. So it is nice that we got this exclusive boss. So, you know. I like Clogrip. Cloglip, Crip, Clob. His name's Clogrip. However, that, I do believe, brings us to the end of World 5, the most challenging and life-draining battle we've had so far. We cycled through all of our characters quite a few times in that stage. However, in the next episode, we're going to be going on to another world, which I believe is actually easier than the one we just did. However, if you want to see that world, World 6, then I hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye.